What's up everybody, Greg here with Lensprotogo and Lens Rentals, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a lens test on the Zeiss Compact Zoom 28 to 80. Super excited to get into it and test this out and check out some of the optics of this lens. We're going to be looking at breathing, bokeh, edge distortion, sharpness, checking if it's parfocal, as well as looking at the close focus for this lens. So let's get into the test right now. So the first thing that we're going to do is check out the focus breathing, or how much the lens zooms in and out as we go through the focus range. So we're starting off at 28 millimeters, and we're just going to go to infinity here all the way at the end. And what you're going to be looking for is on the edges, if you're really seeing that sort of zooming in and out, almost like you're zooming the lens. And then as we come back to close focus here, we're going to switch back over to the far end, or the telephoto end of this lens at 80 millimeters, and we're going to go through that exact same step. So going to close focus, and then racking through the full focus range all the way to infinity. It's a little bit slower here, but again, look on those edges to see if the lens is zooming in and out as we're going through this focus range. And it looks really, really solid on this lens at both 28 and 80 millimeters. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is the bokeh test, and we're going to do this going through the full aperture range from a t2.9, which is wide open on this lens, all the way down to a t22, again starting at 28 millimeters. So for this shot, you're going to want to look in the background at the out of focus areas, the Christmas lights on the background, and you can see we get some really nice circular bokeh, and it actually has a really clean look to it. We're going to go through those ranges, and we're just going to go down step by step, going from a t2.9 to a 4 to 5.6, 8, 11, 16, and then finally 22, and then racking back open to 2.9. Again, doing that same test on the telephoto end of this lens, going from T2.9, going all the way down to a T22, and then opened up again all the way down to a T2.9, and then doing those individual stops. Again, we get a really smooth, circular looking bokeh throughout the entire aperture range on this, which is really nice. There's a ton of aperture blades in here. I don't remember exactly how many, but it's keeping those really circular bokeh. Going down to a T5.6, T8, T11, T16, T22, and then all the way wide open again. Next up, we're going to take a look at edge distortion and sharpness, and for this test we just pan off to the side to see if it keeps that sharpness through the entire frame and see how much distortion or stretching there is on my face as we get to those edges. As you can see with this at 28 millimeters, it's looking really, really solid, and it's staying sharp across the entire frame, and there's not too much distortion. Jumping ahead to 80 millimeters, we're going to do the exact same test, so panning off to the left first. And with this longer focal length, you're not really going to see any distortion. And again, it keeps that sharpness through the entire frame, which is super nice to have. Next up, one of my favorite tests is the flaring test. So we're going to start at 28 millimeters, wide open on this lens with a light that's kind of dimmed down. You're not really seeing any flares in here. And then as I brighten it up, you start to see a lot more blooming around the light. You're kind of seeing this pink, purple, green, blue colors in there. And there's not a ton of elements either, but it's a really nice controlled flare. Then we're going to go to 80 millimeters and do the exact same thing. So going through with the light being dimmed down a little bit and then brightening it up and going around. Again, there's not a lot of reflective elements in here. You're only seeing like a couple different orbs, but it's really well controlled and you get this nice blooming effect around the light. Next up, we're going to look at the close focus of this lens going through the entire zoom range. We're close focus at 2 feet 8 inches, starting at 80 millimeters and then backing all the way out to 28 millimeters. And then the last thing that we're going to check out is if it's parfocal. So zooming all the way in from 28 millimeters to 80 millimeters, focus is still locked, and then zooming back out to 28 millimeters, and that focus stays sharp through the entire zoom range. If you want to try out the Zeiss 28 to 80 on your next shoot, check out the links in the description down below. If you have any questions about this lens, let me know in the comments. If you want to check out some of the other zooms and primes that we've tested, I'll throw a link to a playlist right up here as well as at the end of the video. And if you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, learned a little more about this lens, make sure to let me know by hitting that like button, subscribe for new videos every single week, and I'll see you in the next one.